When a woman is truly drawn to a man, she rarely makes it obvious. Instead, she plays subtle yet powerful mind games that test, tease, and tempt. These aren't random behaviors, they're psychological tactics rooted in attraction. She wants to see if you're sharp enough to notice and strong enough to handle it. From creating confusion to sparking jealousy, every move has a hidden purpose. And it's not about manipulation, it's about amplifying desire and emotional intensity. Many men miss these signals and lose their chance without ever knowing why. But if you understand the games, you'll see the truth behind her actions. She's not pushing you away, she's pulling you deeper into her orbit. Today, we'll reveal the 7 mind games women play when they're sexually attracted to you. 1. The push-pull game. One of the most common and powerful mind games women play when they're sexually attracted to a man is the push-pull game. At its core, this is where she'll show you signs of intense interest. Locking eyes with you, giving you subtle touches, laughing at your jokes, only to suddenly pull back, act cold, or appear disinterested. It feels confusing, almost like emotional whiplash. One moment she's giving you signals that scream, "I want you," and the next she acts like you don't even exist. But here's the secret. This isn't random, it's a deliberate test rooted in psychology. Women use the push-pull game to measure your stability as a man. Attraction is not just about looks or charm, it's about whether you can handle emotional tension. When she pulls away after being warm, she wants to see if you'll lose your cool, chase her desperately, or get insecure. If you crumble under the pressure, she knows you're not grounded. But if you remain calm, playful, and unaffected, she feels a stronger attraction. Why? Because it signals confidence, control, and emotional strength. Qualities women instinctively crave in a man. Think of it this way. The push is her creating uncertainty, while the pull is her inviting you back in. It creates an addictive cycle of highs and lows, which builds sexual tension. This game keeps her excited and curious, and it often makes you think about her even more when she's not around. That's the power of push-pull. It amplifies desire by mixing comfort with uncertainty. It's why some men find themselves obsessing over women who play this dynamic so well. The key to mastering this game is not to fight it, but to understand it. When she leans in, enjoy the moment, but don't get too attached. When she pulls back, don't panic, stay centered, and maybe even mirror her behavior with a playful smirk or teasing comment. This shows that you're not thrown off balance. Instead of chasing her validation, you stand firm, and that drives her wild. Remember, the push-pull isn't about rejection, it's about attraction being tested in real time. If you recognize it and respond with composure, you'll pass her hidden test and draw her in even deeper. 2. The jealousy trigger. Another classic mind game women play when they're sexually attracted to you is what I call the jealousy trigger. At first, it seems innocent. She casually mentions another guy's name, compliments someone else's looks, or suddenly laughs a little too hard at another man's joke, and instantly you feel that spark of competitiveness flare up inside you. That reaction isn't an accident, it's by design. When a woman is deeply attracted to a man, she'll often test his confidence and emotional control by subtly bringing in competition. The psychology behind this is simple. Women want to know if the man they're drawn to can handle pressure. If you instantly blow up, get insecure, or start interrogating her about other men, you reveal weakness. You show her that your confidence is fragile and dependent on her constant reassurance. But if you stay calm, unbothered, and even a little amused, you demonstrate something far more powerful, self-assurance, and nothing fuels sexual attraction like the presence of a man who knows his value regardless of outside distractions. The jealousy trigger also serves another hidden purpose. It heightens desire through tension. By creating the illusion that other men want her, she amplifies her own value in your eyes. It's not manipulation, it's instinct. Women are biologically wired to be desired, and when they sense you're interested, they want to see just how interested you really are. The playful introduction of another man, real or imaginary, is her way of sparking that extra fire inside you. She wants to see if you'll fight for her attention, not with anger, but with presence, charisma, and composure. Now here's where most men fail. They either overreact or underreact. Overreacting looks like possessiveness, jealousy, and emotional outbursts, which kill attraction fast. Underreacting looks like being too indifferent, which can make her feel ignored. The sweet spot is in the middle. You acknowledge the game, but you don't let it shake you. For example, if she mentions how attractive some actor is, you might smirk and say, "Yeah, but he's not me." That blend of humor and confidence neutralizes the test while doubling her attraction. The jealousy trigger is not about making you feel insecure. It's about seeing if you can rise above insecurity. When you pass this test, she doesn't just feel drawn to you. She feels safe, excited, and more invested because she's found a man who won't be rattled by competition, and that makes you stand out from the rest. 3. The mixed signals test. One of the most frustrating yet powerful mind games women play when they're sexually attracted to you is the art of mixed signals. One day she's giving you her full attention, texting back instantly, and acting like she can't get enough of you. The next day she's distant, cold, or even ignores your messages completely. It feels like an emotional roller coaster, and that's exactly the point. Mixed signals are designed to throw you off balance, to see if your interest is genuine and if your confidence can withstand uncertainty. The psychology here is simple. Attraction is amplified when there's unpredictability. If everything is too easy, too predictable, desire fades. Women instinctively know this, so when they're drawn to a man, they often create a push of doubt, followed by a pull of reassurance. That little storm of confusion forces you to invest more mental energy into her, wondering what she feels, what she wants, and what's coming next. This isn't about manipulation as much as it's about creating tension, and tension is the fuel of attraction. Now, here's where most men make mistakes. They misinterpret mixed signals as disinterest and either walk away too soon or get desperate trying to figure her out. Both reactions kill attraction. Walking away makes her think you never had real confidence or patience to begin with. Getting desperate makes you look needy, and neediness is the ultimate turnoff. The right way to handle mixed signals is with calm consistency. You don't chase harder when she pulls back, and you don't shut down when she suddenly comes closer. Instead, you hold your ground, respond with ease, and let her unpredictable energy bounce off your steady frame. Think of it like weather. One day it's sunny, the next day it's cloudy, but you don't panic every time the sky changes. You know storms pass. When she pulls back, you give her space without losing your cool. When she leans in, you enjoy it without overanalyzing. This balance shows her you're not dependent on her every mood, and that steadiness makes her attraction grow even deeper. The mixed signals test is really about control. Who has it and who can keep it? If you let her unpredictable behavior dictate your emotions, you fail. But if you remain unshaken, she realizes she can't control you with confusion, and that mystery makes you irresistible. In her mind, the man who can't be rattled by mixed signals is the man strong enough to lead her through everything else. 4. The silent treatment play. Another powerful mind game women often use when they're sexually attracted to you is the silent treatment play. This isn't the cold shoulder you'd get from someone who's angry or uninterested. Instead, it's a deliberate silence designed to create tension, curiosity, and emotional pull. One moment she's engaging, playful, maybe even flirty, and the next she goes quiet. No texts, no calls, no reactions. Suddenly your mind races. Did I do something wrong? Did she lose interest? Is she talking to someone else? That uncertainty is exactly the reaction she's aiming for. The psychology behind the silent treatment is fascinating. Humans are wired to crave closure and hate ambiguity. When communication suddenly drops, it creates a void in your mind, and that void demands answers. You start replaying every interaction, searching for clues, and in doing so, you think about her even more. This is how silence turns into power. It forces your attention back onto her without her lifting a finger. And when she finally breaks that silence with a text, a smile, or a playful comment, the relief and excitement hit twice as hard. But here's the catch. The silent treatment isn't meant to push you away. It's a test of your emotional balance. Women use this tactic to see how you respond under pressure. If you blow up her phone, send angry messages, or act needy, you fail the test. If you panic and assume it's over, you fail too. But if you remain calm, give her space, and stay grounded, you prove that you're not emotionally dependent on her constant validation. And that's what makes the attraction stronger. Your ability to stay composed in the face of uncertainty. The smart way to handle the silent treatment is with patience and confidence. You don't chase, you don't complain, you simply carry on with your life as if nothing happened. When she does resurface, you welcome her back with playful energy, not resentment. This flips the script because instead of rewarding your panic, she realizes her silence didn't shake you. That makes you stand out because most men crumble under this kind of pressure. In truth, the silent treatment play is less about ignoring you and more about intensifying the bond. It injects mystery into the connection, forces your attention, and tests your strength. Pass this test, and you don't just win her attraction, you earn her respect, which is even harder to secure. 5. The over-attention trick. While some women play cold and distant to spark your curiosity, others use the over-attention trick, and it's just as much of a mind game. When a woman is sexually attracted to you, she might suddenly shower you with attention, compliments, laughter, and playful energy. She responds to your text instantly, remembers little details about you, and even goes out of her way to make you feel special. At first, it feels incredible. You feel like the center of her universe, but then comes the twist. That wave of attention might suddenly stop, leaving you wondering what happened. This push of intensity followed by a pause is her way of hooking you deeper. The psychology behind this is rooted in reinforcement patterns. Human brains are wired to crave what they sometimes get and sometimes don't. This is called intermittent reinforcement. Casinos use it with slot machines, and women instinctively use it with attraction. By flooding you with attention, she raises your emotional high. By pulling it back, she makes you crave it again. The game isn't meant to torture you, it's her subconscious way of making sure your interest is real and not superficial. Now, here's where men often get trapped. When the attention is flowing, they relax and feel secure. But when it suddenly fades, they panic, overank, and chase harder. This makes them look needy, and neediness kills attraction. The truth is, the over-attention trick isn't about her losing interest. It's about testing yours. She wants to see if you're stable enough to enjoy the highs without demanding constant reassurance during the lows. The best way to handle this game is to stay balanced. Appreciate her attention when it's there, but don't become dependent on it. When she pulls back, you don't chase. You stay grounded, keep busy, and let her return to you naturally. When she sees that you're not shaken by the sudden change, it actually makes her respect and desire you more. Because deep down, she's not looking for a man who needs her constant validation. She's looking for one who can stand tall with or without it. The over-attention trick is powerful because it makes you feel wanted, then challenges your emotional strength when it's withdrawn. If you can remain centered through both extremes, you'll pass the test, deepen her attraction, and prove you're the kind of man who doesn't just get attention. He earns it. 6. The competition setup. One of the cleverest mind games women play when they're sexually attracted to you is the competition setup. This is when she deliberately places you in situations, sometimes subtly, sometimes boldly, where you feel the presence of other men. It could be as small as her mentioning how so many guys are in her DMs, or as bold as introducing you to another man she knows admires her. In these moments, you can almost feel the unspoken question hanging in the air. Will you rise above, or will you crumble under the pressure? The psychology here is powerful. Women want to know if the man they're investing in is truly confident in himself, or if his masculinity crumbles when other men are around. Attraction is not just about how you connect with her privately. It's also about how you hold your frame in the presence of competition. If you get insecure, act possessive, or try to tear other men down, you fail her test. But if you stay calm, collected, and carry yourself like you already know you're the prize, her attraction to you skyrockets. The competition setup also creates a dynamic tension that intensifies desire. When you sense other men around, your focus sharpens, your energy shifts, and without realizing it, you bring more presence to the interaction. She knows this, and sometimes she'll stoke the fire just to see that confident edge come out in you. It's not about making you jealous. It's about making sure you're strong enough to handle the natural competition that comes with an attractive woman. Most men react the wrong way. They either show insecurity by interrogating her, questioning her loyalty, or acting territorial, or they retreat, assuming she must not be serious. Both are mistakes. The right response is to lean into your calm, unshakable energy. You don't compete for her attention. You let her see that you're already in a league of your own. A playful smirk, a relaxed posture, or even a confident joke in the middle of competition speaks louder than desperate words ever could. The truth is, the competition setup isn't meant to push you away. It's meant to pull out the best version of you. The man who doesn't flinch under pressure. The man who knows his value even when others are in the picture. Pass this test, and you don't just stand out, you become unforgettable in her eyes. 7. The hot and cold intensity game. Perhaps the most addictive mind game women play when they're sexually attracted to you is the hot and cold intensity game. It's similar to mixed signals, but far more emotional and powerful. One moment she's all over you, touching, teasing, flirting, showing affection that feels almost overwhelming. She might text you nonstop, want to see you often, or even say things that make you believe she's fully yours. Then suddenly she flips the switch. She pulls back, becomes distant, and acts like nothing ever happened. The contrast is so sharp that it leaves you questioning everything, and that's exactly why it works so well. The psychology here is rooted in emotional spikes. Humans get addicted not to consistency, but to unpredictability, especially when the highs are intense. By giving you warmth and passion in one moment and then withdrawing it in the next, she creates a cycle where you crave the return of that high. This isn't always a conscious move on her part. Sometimes women play this game instinctively because deep down they know that unpredictability builds obsession. The hotter the hot moments are, the more powerful the craving becomes when things turn cold. Most men respond poorly to this cycle. When she's hot, they get overly invested, almost dependent on the affection. When she goes cold, they panic, chase harder, or demand explanations. That reaction destroys the mystery and reveals insecurity. The truth is, her hot and cold behavior is rarely about losing interest. It's about amplifying attraction and testing your emotional balance. She wants to know if you can handle her intensity without becoming clingy and her distance without becoming weak. The secret to passing this test is simple but not easy. Stay consistent while she's inconsistent. You don't rise and fall with her emotional waves. You stay centered like an anchor in a storm. When she's hot, you enjoy it, but you don't lose yourself in it. When she's cold, you don't chase. You carry on with your life. Confident she'll return when she's ready. That stability makes you rare because most men can't resist the temptation to react. The hot and cold intensity game isn't about rejection. It's about creating emotional chemistry that sticks. If you handle it correctly, she'll feel not only more attracted to you, but also more secure with you because she knows you won't collapse under her storms. And that's when attraction turns into something much deeper. The hidden psychology behind the 7 mind games. But when you step back and look at all 7 of these mind games together, the push-pull, the jealousy trigger, the mixed signals test, the silent treatment, the over-attention trick, the competition setup, and the hot and cold intensity, you start to realize something important. These aren't random behaviors. They're deeply rooted in psychology, attraction, and the way women naturally test for strength, stability, and value in a man. At first, they might feel confusing, even frustrating, but if you look deeper, you'll see the pattern. Every single game is designed to answer one fundamental question in her mind. Is this man strong enough to handle me, my emotions, and the storms of attraction of the truth? Women don't want men who crumble under pressure. They don't want someone who needs constant reassurance, who panics when attention fades, or who becomes insecure at the sight of competition. What they really want is a man who can stay centered no matter what. That's why these games exist. They're not about manipulation or cruelty, they're about filtering. They separate the men who say they're confident from the men who actually are. And the irony is, the very behaviors that drive most men crazy are the ones that make attraction so powerful for women. Think about it. The push-pull game test, whether you can stay calm under mixed emotions. The jealousy trigger checks if you're secure enough not to be shaken by other men. The silent treatment forces you to prove you're not dependent on her constant attention. The over-attention trick challenges you not to get addicted to validation. The competition setup reveals whether you can shine in the presence of rivals. And the hot and cold intensity shows if you can remain steady in the middle of emotional highs and lows. Each of these is a window into your strength as a man, and every time you pass, her respect and attraction grow deeper. Most men lose because they fight the game instead of playing it wisely. They chase too hard, react with insecurity, or demand constant clarity. But the men who win are the ones who lean back, smile, and stay unshaken. They understand that attraction isn't about control. It's about tension, polarity, and the dance between certainty and mystery. When you can remain composed through the chaos, you show her something rare, that you're a man she can both desire and trust. And in her world, that combination is magnetic. So the next time you find yourself caught in one of these games, don't panic and don't overthink. Recognize it for what it is. A test of your frame, your value, and your emotional strength. Stay centered, stay playful, stay confident, because when you pass these tests, you don't just become the man she's attracted to. You become the man she's obsessed with. And that's when her mind games stop being frustrating and start becoming proof that you're exactly the man she was searching for all along.